In the invasion of time, Leela stays on Gallifrey, falling in love with Commander Andred after fighting the Vardan and Suntaran invasion together. The Doctor leaves K9 with her, or rather, K9 leaves the Doctor for Leela. You can hardly blame him. We later hear that she moved to the capital with Andred and was married. This will be the last time we hear of her for the rest of the series. Romana leaves the TARDIS to stay in E-Space to help free the Thals. She gets K9 Mark II as sort of a parting gift. We never hear from her again as well, not even on Gallifrey, until 1994 in Blood Harvest, when she returns to In-Space with the help of the Seventh Doctor. By the time of the TV movie, the then final Seventh Doctor adventure Lungbarrow was released, and we have both Leela and Romana together on Gallifrey. And now, she's the Lady President, after rising through the ranks of the High Council. And Leela, and this is where it gets interesting, Leela and Andred have the first natural-born child on Gallifrey since the Dark Time. In fact, it was this new adventure novel that would be the beginning of a long future together. Taking into account many of the later Eighth Doctor novels after Alien Bodies happened in an infected timeline, and that the whole of the BBC Eighth Doctor adventure novels were a mess of paradoxes and alternate universes, we can be safe to move on to the events of Big Finish for purposes of this discussion, and particularly with the official 40th anniversary adventure Zagreus, where these two will team up again to save the Doctor and Gallifrey. Sadly, the Doctor could not be saved and was forced to spend the rest of his life in the divergent universe created by Rassilon. Leela and Romana say their goodbyes, and the Eighth Doctor leaves, apparently for good. Shortly after these events, the Gallifrey series begins. The Gallifrey series continues on the then-current Doctor's timeline in 2004, following an arc that pretty much began with the Eighth Doctor Big Finish main range, and continues that same continuity to this day. Weapon of Choice is the first adventure of this incredible series in the worlds of Doctor Who. Stars Louise Jameson as Leela and Lalla Ward as Romana de Vrutrar too. And John Leeson twice. Yes, both K9 units make an appearance. How cool is that? Right?
Affirmative, mistress.
I'm not a mistress, but that wasn't for me. Written by the great Alan Barnes, Weapon of Choice is, of course, everything a Whovian of old could ever ask for in a Doctor Who story. They go through great effort to remain faithful enough to the television series, enough to allow the listener a familiarity to springboard the vastness of Gallifreyan affairs that we only hear about as background to some great catastrophe happening anytime we visit the Doctor's homeworld. The chemistry between Lalla Ward and Jameson is an absolute delight. Leela's grown a bit, especially with a disturbing turn of events involving her husband Andred, but she's still a warrior of the Seven team, and she's everything we loved about her from the TV series. Romana makes the perfect Lady President, as I'm sure you could imagine. In fact, Romana is the same as she's always been. We can assume she will be the rock of the series, or at least she was for this episode, and of course a very strong character on her own. She's not your typical president either, as she's a bit of a maverick. Gallifrey's now entering into treaties with other worlds who've mastered temporal physics, not only entering treaties, but kind of sidelining and manipulating those not ready for it. Gallifrey has, dare I say it, allies. They're just now getting involved openly. It's quite a time to be on Gallifrey. Let's have a listen.
Romana, this TARDIS is broken.
It's meant to get you there and back. You're not travelling as Time Lords now. Is something wrong, Torvald?
These rags are rather itchy.
They are essential for your disguise. You and the Lady Leela will be deporting yourselves as slaves.
Slaves, I see. We've slipped our shackles, stolen a time capsule, that sort of thing?
Negative. You will be my slaves.
What? But this is just some toy automaton.
Negative. For the purposes of this mission, Agent Torvald and Mistress Leela will be slaves of K9 Unit.
K9 is a vicious robot criminal from the 5th galaxy. Aren't you, K9?
Affirmative.
Oh, come on. You need to be more assertive than that.
Slaves will carry K9 Unit into the capsule.
Why do you make that funny voice, K9?
Now, slave, or I will have you atomized.
I will kick your head off first. Oh, it is a game.
Mistress.
That is all right, then.
Weapon of Choice is paced well, performed flawlessly, produced faithfully, and was a surprisingly involved and gripping story. And I don't mean that as an insult. I honestly didn't know what to expect when I went in. With an open mind, of course, but I expected a new genre. What I got was full-on Doctor Who. Plain and simple. By the time this was released, Big Finish had already found their feet and had already mastered Doctor Who in the audio medium. So far, the Gallifrey series confirms you can do Doctor Who without the Doctor, and it'd be worth your time. If Weapon of Choice is any indicator of what's to come in the series, we are in for one heck of a ride. I'm Jack Taylor.